What if the greatest blessing of your life begins with the greatest rejection you've ever experienced? Have you ever felt forgotten? Have you ever watched others receive opportunities while every door in front of you remained shut? Have you ever wondered if God sees your tears? Today's story is for every woman who has been overlooked, rejected, or made to feel like she isn't enough. Stay with me until the end, because this story may completely change the way you see your waiting season. There are seasons in life when rejection feels louder than God's promises. Friends move on. Family misunderstands you. Relationships end. Opportunities disappear. In those moments, it's easy to believe rejection is the end. But throughout Scripture, we see something remarkable. God often chooses the people the world overlooks. David was overlooked before becoming king. Joseph was rejected before becoming a ruler. Ruth was a widow before becoming part of the lineage of Jesus. Today, let's imagine the story of another woman whose life reminds us that God's plans are never canceled by human rejection. Grace grew up in a small town where everyone knew everyone. She wasn't the prettiest. She wasn't the wealthiest. She wasn't the most popular. Every opportunity seemed to go to someone else. When jobs became available, someone else was chosen. When friendships were formed, she was often left out. When conversations happened, people ignored her opinions. Eventually, Grace stopped expecting good things. She smiled on the outside but cried in private. Every night she asked God one question: Lord, why not me? Maybe you've asked that same question. Instead of becoming bitter, Grace made a decision. If no one noticed her, God still did. She began praying faithfully. She read Scripture every morning. She helped elderly neighbors. She encouraged discouraged friends. She gave even when she had very little. Nobody applauded her. Nobody posted about her kindness. Nobody celebrated her obedience. But heaven saw every act of faithfulness. Galatians 6:9 reminds us, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." One day, someone in the community needed help organizing a charity event. Several well-known people were asked first. One after another, they declined. Finally, someone remembered Grace. Not because she was famous, but because she was faithful. Grace accepted without hesitation. She worked with excellence. She treated everyone with kindness. She solved problems quietly. People began asking, "Who is this woman?" The same people who once ignored her suddenly recognized the gifts God had placed inside her all along. She received new invitations. She found meaningful friendships. She discovered her purpose. Most importantly, she realized something that changed her forever. God hadn't forgotten her. He had been preparing her. The rejection that once broke her heart had actually protected her from places and people that weren't part of His plan. Looking back, she finally understood Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. If you feel rejected today, remember this. People may overlook you, but God never does. People may close doors, but God can open one that no one can shut. Your waiting season is not wasted. Your tears are not invisible. Your prayers are not ignored. God is still writing your story, and He specializes in turning rejection into purpose. If this message encouraged you, let me know in the comments by writing, "God is preparing me." Also, tell me where you're watching from so I can pray for you. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for more faith-filled stories and biblical encouragement for women who are trusting God through every season. Remember, your story isn't over. the God who changes lives is still at work today.